Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Lynn, just touching bases with you here on New Year's or Christmas Eve. Boy, I'm racing. We're not to New Year's yet. This is Christmas Eve. I know many of you are racing around right now out there trying to get your last minute Christmas shopping done and maybe shopping for dinner, making arrangements for travel, and just really in a frenetic, frenzied state right now. And some of you may be at home on Facebook relaxing because your workday is done. Happy holidays to all of you. This is my How I Did It Part 4 series, and tonight I was two things I want to talk about. It's not going to be a long video. I just kind of wanted to touch bases with everybody and wish everyone the highest and best wishes and hopes for your holiday, and hoping that you're celebrating with family and friends and that it's going to be a joyful occasion for everyone. But one of the things I want to do is, last week, if you looked at the segment for last week, I talked about the abundance check. Well, this is your reminder that it's time to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we enter the cycle of the new moon. And the abundance check is this little check that you write for yourself, which I'm going to show you. It's like this. This is my check. And you see it's just written out to me. It's got my name, paid in full on the right in the check amount part, and then the law of abundance. And don't worry about this account number. This account is long since closed. So I don't care about the bank account number. But the point is, you make the check out to yourself. You don't put a date. You put paid in full in the amount field. You put paid in full in letters written on the little line underneath with no squiggly line or X's or O's for cents, and then you sign it the law of abundance. Now, I may have said the law of attraction last week. I don't remember, but the actual signature is the law of abundance, which is what you see right there at the bottom. So anyway, make sure you write your checks within the first 24 hours of the full moon. It actually starts at, I think it's 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, which is 10 a.m. here on the West Coast, which would be around 1 p.m. for East Coast, and then 12 and 11 for those people in between. Adjust for your own time zone. As long as I give you East Coast time and West Coast time, you should be able to figure it out. And if you're elsewhere in the world, you do the adjustment. Mainly, I just wanted to put that reminder out there because it is time to do it, and this is a special time for that to happen, because we're in this season of light, of love, abundance, prosperity, and we're celebrating all of the abundance and being particularly grateful and appreciative of what we do have. So all that energy is being focused on us right now, and we may as well take advantage of it. The second thing I want to talk about is the actual theme of this particular segment, and that is helping you get fired up and get ready to hit the ground running in January. Now, I talked about all of the, some of the background information or tools that I use, and that is starting with part 1, where I'm talking about inspirational spiritual teachings to help get you on the right track spiritually, get you grounded, and get you focused. Then I talked about, told you about my story and how I went through all of this stuff to show you just how far down I had gone and how negative things had become, to show you how I've come back up to this place of joyous gratitude and gratefulness, dispelling all that fear and all the insecurity that held me back. And then last week I talked about the abundance check principle and how it's been working for me to help move things along and support me through this process. Well, this week I'm going to talk about one of the critical points, which I think is perfect for this time. We're in the time of Christmas where all of our little children are dreaming about visions of sugar plums and presents under the tree, and their imaginations are, in high gear right now as they're anticipating all of the gifts they're going to get, and Santa bringing this, and all of the things that happen that make the season so delightful as we celebrate this Christmas spirit, the Hanukkah spirit, and Kwanzaa, gratitude, gifts, sharing, light, love, all of that. But for all of us who are of the senior generation, in many ways we've forgotten that very critical part of us, and that is how to dream. That's one of the things that we've lost, that has taken us into this place of hopelessness and fear and insecurity that makes us feel tired and worn out and like we are too old to do this again. We can't get out and recreate our lives because we've lost hope, we've lost focus. Well, I want to remind you and I encourage you to find that dream mechanism again. It's not dead. You just stop using it. You know, as we grow up, as we see our children play, I mean, just watch the kids over the holidays, this next couple of days. Many children will take all the toys and rip the wrappings off and the boxes out and look at the toys and play with the toys for 10 to 15 minutes. And next thing you know, they're crawling around inside the box the toy came in, and they'll spend hours making this box their castle or a playhouse or any number of things. Many, many times if you look at the children when they're playing, they're giving us a message of the toys that we give them so much nowadays play with the kids. They don't, or they play for the kids. The kids don't really have the ability to use their imagination and use their gift of playing as much as they did back when I was a kid, when you actually had to play with a toy. Nowadays, all the toys play with the kids, or they're so sophisticated that the adults end up taking over the toys. But the kids still have that dream mechanism, that imagination, and they can have just as much fun with a box that they can crawl in and out of as they can with the toys, sometimes more. Watch the pets, cats, puppies. They get the wrappers, the bows. A cat can have a field day with a box or a paper bag. Even animals have imaginations and they dream. And we as adults have lost it. We watch those kids as they're young and we delight in their own imaginations. Some of them even make imaginary friends. But as we grow up, we're taught, don't let your imagination run away with you. Stop daydreaming. Don't do this. All these things that put us in the box, shut it down so that by the time we get to be our age, we've forgotten we even have a dream mechanism, let alone how to use it. But thank God it's part of us. It's something that's innate in us. It doesn't die, but we have managed to suppress it to the point where we don't even remember that it's there. So in order for you to start to recreate your life and get onto a path of newness, renewal, hope, and inspiration, you got to let the genie out of the bottle. You got to let your imagination out. Walt Disney created his whole company. The cartoons and all the movies and wonderful stories that he made were based on the imagination. He even created a special job title for his employees called Imagineering. They were Imagineers. In other words, instead of engineering or creating, they would imagine and then create. The imagine and the engineer. Imagineering, creating and bringing forth into reality the dreams and the things of your imagination. So what we're going to talk about today and what I'm going to highlight on is your ability to reconnect with your dreams. Now, I don't know how much some of you have touched or studied the law of attraction, but there's one of the principles of the law of attraction that talks about using your daydreaming mechanism to reignite the fire of your dreams, and to reignite your spirit by dreaming again. And I think one of the principles encourages you to take several minutes a day, 5-10 minutes a day, and just daydream. Just let your imagination run wild every day to get you used to letting it run wild again, to exercise your dream mechanism, to allow yourself to be fanciful, to be delighted. In other words, create a bucket list, but not of just the things that you want to do before you die, but of the things you used to dream about. Remember when you were a kid and people would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And, oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to be this. I want to be that. Well, you can still do that. You still got breath. You're still here on planet Earth. And even if you are feeling a little older and a little less energetic, you can still imagine. And as you start to imagine, you'll feel this inspiration and this energy start to surge inside of you. And then you'll start to feel better and more interested and more excited about life. And then you'll feel yourself come alive again. Now, I encourage you very strongly to do one thing. Start with small baby steps. One of the first things you can do is to spend just a few minutes a day doing one thing, setting your intention. And I believe another place in the law of attraction, Abraham talks about how to set your imagination or your intention or your ideas alive. You have to spend, I believe it's 27 seconds of focus on an idea to give it inspiration and energy for it to drop into the level of the law to start its manifestation so it can be on the way to you. So for the next 30 days, I would like you to think about first, once I show you how to create these dreams, the dream list, the bucket list, start reading that list and letting your imagination run away with you. And the things that really speak to you, that really touch your heart, I want you to start by spending 27 seconds every day, 27 seconds on those ideas, imagining what it would be like to have that manifest in your life. And as you do that, some will speak to you more than others. For those, I want you to start taking more time to daydream about them, like 10 minutes a day. Stop what you're doing, stop where you're working, go, if you have to go to the restroom at work or whatever, your break time, your lunchtime, 10 minutes a day of thinking about what it would feel like, what it would taste like, what it would, what you would see if you were having some of your best and highest dreams come true. Whether it's a dream career or business or going on vacation or having a car or a new house or whatever. Some of you may be dreaming about owning your home for the first time. Well, you know what? Homes are cheaper than ever and the interest rates are lower. And even if you can't get a loan, there are a lot of investors out there with empty houses that would be more than happy to let you move into the house. If you got a few $1,000s and can make the payment, you can get an investor to finance you. So buying a home now is more possible now for more people than ever. Believe it. I'm an investor. I know that there are a lot of investors out there that are setting up people in their homes right now and being the bank, playing the bank for them, doing seller finance loans. So yes, you can own your own home even if you've never done it before. Imagine what that would be like. So now I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to post as part of this posting on Facebook, this as a note, it's going to be the 5 steps to discovering your dream career or business. These are some steps that I've outlined for the benefit of helping people renew their dreams and even to identify what is it you want to do. And even though these steps may not seem magical to begin with, if you follow them over a period of weeks, you will find something that lights your fire that will get you going again. So step 1 is to create a dream inventory. This means to just start making a list of any and everything you think you might want to do, whether it's related to a business, a job, or just something you thought you want to do. I want to learn how to paint. I want to learn how to ice skate. I want to learn how to do makeup. I want to learn how to build a scale model car or ship in a bottle. I mean, anything that you've ever thought that you might want to do, just write it down. And then I want to make sure you include things that you might want to do business-wise or that you've always wanted to do that you think you might be able to make money from. I want to write a book. I want to become a photographer. Put all this on your list. And then when you get the list, after about 3 weeks of writing this down, every time you think of something, go through that list and pick out the things that might be business related or job related or something that you have as a hobby that you might be able to make money out of. I saw an article item on the news today about a guy who was an electrical engineer, but he had this dream about Christmas lights. He loved setting up Christmas displays. So as he got into his older years, he finally sold it. He had a company, but he sold his company and he started a business doing what he loves most. What does he do? He learned how to use his computer to create programs and create these computerized Christmas light displays. You see them all over the internet. People have their homes all lit up like Christmas trees and the lights are set up to music and they go through these patterns and all these wonderful displays. That's what he does. He has an entire ranch full of Christmas lights. They figure there's over 1 million lights and he's got, it's like acres covered with lights with all kinds of different displays, and he does this every year and he has a whole crew that helps him set it up. But there was a time 10 years ago when you didn't see that, but he turned a dream into reality and now he makes a living. He works a few months out of the year doing what he wants to do, and that is designing these Christmas displays for people. And imagine the way we delight to what he does, and other people are picking up his idea and doing it too. That was taking a fanciful fantasy and creating an opportunity to make money, and so now he does what he loves. There are other people that are making things they've always wanted to make, and they're now, especially now that we're focused on buying American, craft shops and little local boutiques are now taking the crafts from local artisans and selling them in their boutiques. and people are supporting it because we want to bring jobs and prosperity back to America. So, let your dream inventory include hobbies or whatever, but sometimes you can find a way to make a living off of doing things you love. And remember, when you're doing something you love, it doesn't seem like work. So if you're looking at, I don't want to go back to work, I'm too old for this, and blah, what about a fun hobby that you might be able to turn into a way to make a living? There was another item I saw on the internet the other day. In fact, I'm going to get one before long, and this lady had a fantasy about growing a garden in her apartment. She lived in a condo. She came up with this idea of taking liter-sized soda bottles, the clear ones, turning them upside down. She made, what do they call it, a hydroponic planter system that hangs in a window, and you could grow plants in these bottles where she's cut the bottoms off, and each bottle has a plant growing in it, and it's got tubes running to it from a pot of water, a thing of water at the bottom. I wouldn't say a pot, it's bigger than that, but a container of water at the bottom, and she used an aquarium pump to pump the water up through these little tubes just like you would into a fish tank, and it waters these plants. Well, so many people like what she did that she started making these kits so people could buy their own systems and set them up. Well, now she's manufacturing kits and selling them for a couple of $100 each, and they're now more formalized as a hydroponic system for growing a garden in your window. And I mean, she grows not just flowers, it's not flowers, she grows herbs and vegetables, and it's all set up to be in a home, and they have them set up so you can buy one system or 2, 3, or 4 systems, so you can have an entire garden growing in your window even if you live in an apartment. So it's all about your imagination. See what you can imagineer and what you can come up with. Now, the next step is to research your choices. Now, once you do all this dreaming, and I want to put fun stuff on your dream inventory so that that's the stuff you can do and buy and have once you start making money with your fun job, your new fun career. Research your choices, and that is to look into the feasibility of how they could become a money-making opportunity. Now, you'll take your dream list and the stuff you want to do, the vacations, the cars, the home, all of the things that you want to do when you're making money become one list. That's your bucket list, that's your hot list. And then the practical side of it, the things that may become money-making opportunities, becomes the working list for your dream career or business. And once you get the working list, you start researching the opportunities to see where you might be able to monetize it. And we'll talk about how to do that research in another video. That's not the one for here. But this is just to get you going, so next month when we do talk about things like that, you'll be ready. The next thing I want you to do, step 3, is to create a treasure map or book. This is where you go into magazines or pictures that you print off the internet or whatever of things that you want to go, places that you've always wanted to visit, pictures of those dream resorts, pictures of the cars, pictures of the home, all of these things, the jewelry, the car, anything that you may want. Get a picture of it from somewhere, even if you have to draw it, and put it on this treasure map, which must be fancy and meaningful to you, with colors and stars and all kinds of things to make it exciting and beautiful. A friend of mine made a book. Now, she's one of these women who is very much into the high side of life. Everything has to be beautiful and refined. I mean, her home looks like, Home Beautiful. Her home could be in any of those magazines. She's that kind of person. So her dream book looks like, probably, I would say, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very beautiful. It's more like a treasured family photo album with beautiful ribbons and colors, and you would think, even I would think the royal family would be happy to use it as a family album. It was that beautiful. When I saw it laying in her office, I thought it was a photo album. No, it's her dream book. So make it meaningful to you, however simple or complex you would like. The next thing is to narrow down your career business dreams to 1 or 2 choices. After you've done your research, after you figure out which ones are your hot buttons, narrow it down to 1, 2, maybe 3 choices so that you can start to investigate the practicality of turning this dream career business hobby into a true money-making opportunity. Now, if you don't come up with any career business dream hobby opportunities, we'll go into some other things that you can do that would still produce the same results. But right now, I want you to narrow those things down to the point where you can actually start to work on creating them and putting them in a business format. And then the last step, number 5, is to make a plan. Once you got down to 1 or 2, start working on a business plan. Now, the business plan will be generic up to a point. Then it'll become specific depending on whether you can decide to choose between one of those businesses, or you're still up in the air about maybe between a couple of them. The basic business plan will be the same, and I have a plan that's a very simple 10 question business plan sample that you can use, that you don't have to do a 3 to 5 year plan. Quite frankly, nobody really knows what's going to happen in 3 to 5 years projection wise, as far as costs and all of that, and profits. But there are 10 simple questions you can answer that will get you started and get you on the way. And once you have that plan down, it's in writing, you can start to look for ways to fund your dream, ways that you can make it come real. So I'm going to post this as part of this posting on Facebook, which you'll see. It'll be will be the note. And I'm hoping that you'll take some time over the next week while you're celebrating, or playing what's it called, Crazy Birds, or whatever that game is. I have not Angry Birds. Whatever it is, take a minute to read through the list, and then start to think about what do you want to dream about. Remember what it was like to daydream. Watch the kids as they're playing around the Christmas tree with their toys, and watch how they slip into their imaginations so easily, and can be oblivious to everything else in the room while they're having so much fun. And you're sitting there feeling sad and sorry about the prospects of your future. Get out and play with the kids. If you can't get on the floor, then call them over to where you are, and have them explain to you what they're doing, and let that energy be contagious and light your fire, because the thing that's going to pull you out of this situation is your imagination. So let's let it run wild. Let's let the genie out of the bottle. Let's have fun and start imagining what our world is going to be like in 2012 and beyond. So happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Travel safe. Enjoy your holiday. And I'll see you next week. Bye.